Hey, everybody. Welcome to my rough draft new webinar for our potential clients, whether they have a bookkeeping business yet or not, or if they already have one and they're ready for the mastermind and they want to scale. We want to use this plan. This is going to be in our webinar to help our students make $1 million a year in passive profit. Okay. Not income, profit. Okay. And this is the plan that I have mapped out to help students do that. So try not to look ahead at the numbers, follow along on the lines I'm at so I can explain this all to you. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with you being the solo entrepreneur, the solo bookkeeping business owner. Okay. No full-time team members. Maybe currently right now you're doing subcontractors or whatever, but let's just ignore that point. And let's just say you are in the academy, you have learned to grow your business to where you are now either on track or you are able to make $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay. So you're making $8,000 to $10,000 a month in your business. Let's say, just for example purposes, we're going to say maybe $1,000 a month of that is some kind of various expenses. So software costs, Listio, just random things like that, some office expenses. So, and at this point, we're going to consider no labor. You're able to do all this work yourself. This is the beginning stages. Even if you have contractors, we're not going to include them into this because they don't really count. Okay. So your profit on this is anywhere from $7,000 to $9,000 per month. Okay. Now, since you don't have any employees, you're performing all the work. If you have quoted correctly and you work efficiently like we teach in the academy, then you should be working about 20 to 25 hours a week performing this bookkeeping work. Okay. It doesn't count marketing or anything else you're potentially doing. 20 to 25 hours a week to make a profit of $7,000 to $9,000 a month. Okay, this is very, very conservative. This is showing us making about $87 to $90 an hour, whereas, a lot of clients make $100 to $120 or $150 an hour as they get better and better at quoting and more efficient in picking up the right types of clients. Okay, so again, we're being very conservative with closer to an $80 to a $90 an hour rate. Okay, and I'm considering there's no reviewing being done. That's included in you actually doing the bookkeeping work because you're reviewing it as you're doing it. Okay. So at this level, you want to hire a full-time employee, So you're going to hire employee number one. So when you do this, your revenue is going to be the same because you're not increasing clients. Technically, you are hiring someone. So your revenue is going to be $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Your expenses are still going to be $1,000 a month in office stuff. And now you're going to have a full-time employee that you're paying, let's say, a really nice salary of $60,000 a year to work full-time for you. And you can increase that down the road. We can set up a bonus structure where if they take on more work and they are able to, handle clients at certain revenue levels, that they can make more. But let's say base salary $60,000. Okay, so that's $5,000 a month. So that's what you're going to have. So as soon as you hire this employee, you're going to take a big dip in profit. So now you're going to go from $7,000 to $9,000 a month in profit down to $2,000 to $4,000. Okay. And so when you hire this employee, you may need to have saved back some profit to cover a good 3 months of whatever you need to live off of. Okay. So that way you can focus on getting this employee set up to go. Okay. And not stress about money. So now after the employee is onboarded and they know your work, and the key here is you're going to have to hire someone full-time. You're going to have to hire someone qualified so that there is minimal training. They need to understand how you work, what your expectations are for your client, but they need to already have experience using QuickBooks Online, experience doing bookkeeping for other businesses, and then they just have to learn the things that you want to teach them that pertain to your business and your particular clients. Okay, those are the two important factors here. Okay, so now the 20 to 25 hours a week that it takes to do the client work that you currently have is now shifted to your employee. Okay, this is the employee column. Now you have no hours that you're working on actual bookkeeping work, but you do need to review your employees' work. So we are assuming that based on the revenue that you have and assuming an average fee of $500 a month, then we're going to take the total number, we're going to calculate the total number of clients from that and then multiply that by 2, assuming it takes about 2 hours per month to review the work. Okay. So at $8,000 a month divided by $500 per month monthly fee times the 2 hours per month that you would need to do for each one of those clients, then divided by 4 to get the weekly amount. That's what this column is. Okay. So for your current client level, you're going to spend about 8 to 10 hours per week reviewing your employees' work. And don't forget, at this level, you have a full-time employee that's only working 20 hours a week. So they're going to have extra time on their hands to help you with other tasks as well during this first initial phase. But you're still going to be working about 8 to 10 hours a week reviewing their work. So basically, for this first step, you're saving about 12 to 15 hours a week, and you're getting that time back. Okay. Your hourly rate is shifting. It's going to shift a little bit, but you're going to take that 12 to 15 hours a week of extra time and you're going to dump that into marketing. Okay. And step number 1 is to replace that employee's salary with new clients. Okay. So you're paying that employee $5,000 per month. So you need to take your free time, your free hours, and you need to increase your revenue by $5,000. So you're going to go from 8 to 10,000 a month up to 13 to 15,000. Okay. So now you're making $13 to $15,000 a month. You have the $1,000 of expenses. You still have the $5,000 of labor for your one full-time employee. So your profit is now back up to $7,000 to $9,000 a month, where it was before you had this employee. Okay. Now this employee is going to be working 33 to 38 hours per week on this total number of new clients that you have. You're not going to be working any on the bookkeeping work, but because you increased your clients, you increase the amount of time that you have to spend reviewing. So now you're reviewing about 13 to 15 hours a week, which is yielding you $134 to $150 hourly rate. So you are much better off. You still shaved off an entire day of your work time. So before hiring someone, you were still making the same profit. Now you're still making the same profit, but you're working 7 to 10 hours a week less. So your overall hourly rate is higher. Okay. So you can stay at this for a while until your employee number 1 is maxed out, or you can go right on to hiring full-time employee number 2, which is what I would recommend. Okay. So from here, you still have an entire day of your time back. So you can use that to bring on employee number 2 and then do more marketing. Okay. So you're going to hire employee number 2. So let's say you focus on this employee, you don't bring on new clients for a hot minute. So you're still at the 13 to 15,000 in revenue. You still have the $1,000 of expenses, but now you have 2 employees. So you are spending $10,000 a month in labor expenses. Okay. So your profit is now dipping back down to the $2,000 to $4,000 a month in profit. Okay. Where it was before when you hired your first employee. Okay. So now you have 2 full-time employees, but you only have about 33 to 38 hours worth of bookkeeping work a week that they need to do. Okay. This also gives you some extra bandwidth that they can help you with other tasks in this meantime. Okay. But now you've got 2 people onboarded. This will also help you with as you're scaling and getting more clients and you've got cleanup work, we will have plenty of manpower to be able to help you with this cleanup work if you hire full-time qualified people. Okay. That's the key to this. Okay. So now you've got 2 full-time employees. Between the 2 of them, they're only working 33 to 38 hours a week on the actual bookkeeping work. You're still reviewing. It's still taking you the 13 to 15 hours per week to do it. Obviously, your overall hourly rate dips way low because you added this employee, the second employee, but you haven't increased your revenue yet. Okay. So this is just a holding pattern. So now you're going to focus on scaling again up to enough to replace that second employee's salary. So you need to increase your revenue by $5,000 a month to replace the salary. So you're going from $13,000 to $15,000 a month. Now you're going to $18,000 to $20,000. Okay. So you'll have plenty of time to be able to focus on this and plenty of bandwidth from these 2 full-time employees to handle any back work that you have coming in. Okay. So now you're making $18,000 to $20,000 a month. You still have the same office expenses and you still have the 2 full-time employees' salaries. So your profit is now back up to the $7,000 to $9,000 a month where it was after you covered your employee one salary and where you were before when you didn't have employees. Okay. So now you're still making the $7,000 to $9,000 profit, but your two full-time employees are collectively only working 45 to 50 hours a week on the bookkeeping work. So still tons of bandwidth that you have for them. Okay. And because you increased your employee workload, you have more things to review. So your review workload for yourself has gone up to 18 to 20 hours a week of reviewing the work for these clients. Obviously, that number can fluctuate a little bit depending on how many clients you have and how long it's going to take to review them, what size of company they are, and that sort of thing. So that can go up and down. But assuming the same formula as before, 18 to 20 hours a week, you're still saving 2 to 5 hours more per week than you were when you were doing this by yourself. And your hourly rate is also higher than it was before. So at this rate, paying two full-time employees that are only working part-time at this moment, you are still making more profit and more hourly rate than you were when you were doing it alone. Okay. And this gives you a lot more space and a lot more freedom to work on your business. Okay, so this is where it really gets fun, okay? After you've got these two full-time people hired and they're only working collectively 45 to 50 hours a week between both of them. So you have a lot of room to grow, room to add to their plate. Now we want to focus on maxing out their workload, okay? We want these two employees to work between 40 and 45 hours a week each, okay? So we want to get their hours up to 80 to 85 hours per week for the two employees. So to do that, you can almost double your revenue, okay? So we're going to increase it from 18 to 20. We're going to increase it to 32 to 34,000 a month in revenue, okay? You're still going to have your fixed office expenses and you're still going to have the same $10,000 a month that you were paying these employees. But now your profit just jumped from 7 to 9 up to $21,000 to $23,000 per month in profit, okay? And now these two full-time employees are actually working full-time on bookkeeping work, okay? So now you're getting full amount of work from them. So you no longer have to do any of the bookkeeping work. And because you almost doubled your clients, you're going to be working more on reviewing their work. Okay, so now you're spending the majority of your time reviewing. So 32 to 34 hours a week actually reviewing their work. And this is really conservative too, by the way. This is assuming you can only make $384,000 a year in top line revenue with two employees. But we all know as you get better at quoting, you can actually make $500,000 a year with two full-time employees. So this is incredibly conservative, which means your results may be way better than this, okay? But this is conservative. I want to be conservative. So now working 32 to 34 hours a week yourself, just simply reviewing their work, you're making $164 to $169 per hour, okay? But you want to grow, you want to work on your business, you don't want to work in it, right? So the next step here is to hire someone to take this reviewing off your shoulders, okay? So your next step is to hire an account manager. And this account manager is going to be responsible for reviewing all of the client work, helping with the onboarding process, and divvying up work between your full-time people, okay? And they're going to review everything and help communicate with your clients. Obviously, every time you hire someone, there's going to be a transition process. So you need to plan accordingly for that, especially when you take these dips in profit here. But once you get them onboarded, you've hired qualified people and they're full-time and you've got them onboarded, this is the plan. This will take off. Okay. So when you hire the account manager, you're still going to have the same revenue of $32,000 to $34,000 a month. You're going to have the same office expenses, but now you're going to have a third employee. So let's say that office manager has the same qualifications. She's just going to be doing a little bit of different stuff. So we're going to pay her a $60,000 annual salary to start as well. So there is $5,000 for her also. So now your profit is going to take a slight dip. So you're going to go from 21 to 23,000 in profit per month down to 16 to 18. Okay. But when you look at this, your employees that are doing the bookkeeping work. You've got 2. They are maxed out. They're working full time. But your account manager is now taking over what you were reviewing, and now they're spending 32 to 34 hours per week reviewing the work of those full-time employees. And this is, again, conservative overestimation, okay? Probably won't take them that long to review it. So what you want to do is be able to max out your account manager as well, so that way you're getting full benefit from paying her salary. But right now, as it is, your account manager is working 32 to 34 hours a week reviewing work. Your 2 full-time employees are working 80 to 85 hours a week doing the bookkeeping work. And let's just say that consistently you are still going to spot check everything that your account manager does, everything. So we're going to say maybe 30 minutes per month per client that you're going to glance over her work, okay? So you're going to spend at this level with $32,000 of revenue per month, you're going to spend about 8 to 9 hours a week glancing over the account manager's work, okay? If you do that, and eventually you won't have to do this at all because she'll be so good that you can trust her work, you're going to be making at this point $500 to $529 per hour. At this profit level, only working 8 to 9 hours a week, because you're going to have 3 full-time people that are carrying on all of this for you, okay? And you're still going to be bringing home $16,000 to $18,000 a month in profit. Okay, so then if we want to max out your account manager, what we're going to do is hire a 3rd employee, and this employee is going to be part-time, okay? So you are going to hire this part-time employee and then ramp up the amount of clients to cover the part-time employee and max out your account manager. That's all included in this last line, okay? So you're going to go from 32 to 34,000 in annual or monthly revenue up to 40 to 45,000. You're going to have the same expenses, but now you're going to have a 3rd bookkeeper in there that's part-time. So instead of $5,000 a month, we're just going to put in $2,500 because they're part-time. They're going to work 20 hours. Okay. So now your profit is going to go to $21,500 to $26,500, somewhere along those lines. And the total number of hours your 3 bookkeepers are going to be working, the 2 full-time and the 1 part-time, is between 100 and 113 hours per week. Okay. Now, when they do this, your account manager is going to be maxed out. It's going to take her 40 to 45 hours a week to review all of the work for all of your clients that are being completed at the $40,000 to $45,000 per month annual revenue mark, okay? So you are not doing any of the bookkeeping work. You're not doing any of the reviewing accounts except for the little bit that you're reviewing for your account manager. So if you spend 30 minutes per client, it's going to go up a little bit because you added some clients here. So now you're going to work about 10 to 11 hours per week glancing over your account manager's work and reviewing that. So now you are making $537.50 up to $589 per hour, because you're making a profit of $21,500 to $26,500 with these 3.5 employees, and you don't actually have to do any work. And once you get to the point where your account manager is making no mistakes and you trust the fact that she's going to ask you questions, if she doesn't know something, you don't have to work at all, okay? So every little bit that you decide to work in your business is optional for you to grow it. You're going to be in the business development stage here, okay? So as you can see, this process right here, if you repeat this 3 more times, you will be able to reach $1 million per year in profit and have a passive business. What do you guys think? It's amazing. So I want to know what questions you have about this plan when you think about actually executing it. Okay. I need to know all of those questions, and I'm going to turn this into a really cool webinar. Okay. Feedback is greatly appreciated.